Let's start by defining terms. And I want to start with representation, because often in my conversations with people, their definition of diversity is really about representation. And that's a numbers game. When you think about representation, I'd invite you to consider that it's only about the types of people who are present in your workplace. Our businesses are driven by our ability to innovate. Yet we rarely talk about or value the idea of people offering different ideas in our workplace environments. And so it is important for us to think about diversity as being very broad scope. It's also about our perspectives and where our perspectives come from. So what else are we talking about? We're talking about the idea of being inclusive. So the question is, how do you get that mix of individuals to work well together? Part of that has to do with being mindful. Thinking and really looking at our behavior to say, for all of those individuals who are present in my workplace, do I make space for them to be their genuine selves at work? Who do you have as a part of your workplace? So if we define diversity as being about the mix, what are the dimensions that are represented in your organization? How do those folks feel about their treatment and the workplace altogether? Are you being successful in getting that mix of individuals to work well together? In other words, is your environment, your ecosystem, inclusive? And who are the leaders and what are they doing? Because our experience is, if you want to be successful implementing any diversity and inclusion overall strategy, particularly in terms of sustainability, leaders need to be on board. So when you look at high engagement, it's an outcome of organizations that entrench diversity and inclusion as I've defined it. So it is a factor that can create lift to business performance, and it lowers the potential risks that are associated with workforces. So again, thinking about attitudes and how people perceive they're treated is one aspect of that, but the infrastructure as well is also a portion of that. Policy, procedure, and how it's applied. So where you have high levels of diversity and high levels of inclusion, the outcome is high levels of engagement. So think about this as productivity and performance. Look at what you get if you get high levels of engagement and high organizational commitment to D&I. You get an uplift in terms of levels of engagement of over 100%. That's a kind of compelling argument if you're trying to move your organization forward, because you're talking about business impacts. So when you look at what constitutes high engagement, it's really an outcome of diversity and inclusion. It's interesting because you can say inclusion and diversity or diversity and inclusion, but certainly from our experience, you need both. Some other evidence I just wanted to share with you. When you look across industries and you say we're rated highly on diversity and inclusion, there are other additional benefits. A 57% uplift in team collaboration, 19% uplift in retention. Improved market share, a tick of 45%. And when you're going into a new marketplace and you look at the idea of that performance and how it connects, 70% more likely in terms of an uptick with respect to success.